Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in again. I'm filming this on Sunday, so this is the day my August favourites would have gone up. So if you haven't watched that already, make sure you go and watch that. I'll link it below. And since it's back to school week and we're in September, I thought I would do an A-level advice video for anyone who's currently like in year 12 or year 13 or in sixth form or college. So I have written down 10 tips in my YouTube notebook, and I'm going to go through with them, and hopefully that will help you guys out. So let's get started. My first tip is to be present. That means go to school, you know, be marked in the register, and be punctual as well if you can. I unfortunately got ill in the first term of year 12, and it's something that I'm still trying to recover from even today. It's something I struggle with like on a daily to weekly basis. So I missed 25% of school in both years, and that did impact my grades. I ended up getting a B in history, a B in art, and a C in French, and even though I passed, I am slightly disappointed with my results, specifically French, because of how much effort and work I put into it, which isn't always reflected in your grade, and as well as with art. But in AS there was a mess up with the marking at my school, so everything was slightly lower. But I think they're changing the system now, so everyone takes their exams in year 13. So it's really important to be present, even though it seems like you can just catch up with stuff at home if teachers email you. It's just so much better being in the classroom. Like at home you don't have people asking questions that you might be thinking or helping you out, so it's really important to be present, so make sure you are. Number 2 is to get organised. It's so important to be organised because A-levels are a massive jump from GCSE. So make sure you like schedule things and make timetables. I made a timetable for all of my lessons on this. This is called a twin file, and it looks like this, and I use that on a weekly basis for all of my subjects. So I just got a plastic wallet that you'd have in a folder and put everything I need for the week for all my lessons in there, instead of carrying around a bulky folder. So get organised, you know, put everything in order. It really does help you out in the long run, so I definitely recommend that. Next one is manage your time well. It's really important that you manage your time well because A-levels do take up a lot of your time. I'm sorry to say, they are quite lengthy and you have to put in the effort to get the results that you want. So make sure you manage your time well, and try your best not to get too carried away with like things like watching TV or getting caught up on the internet. Try and prioritize things, and you know, if you do most of your work during the week, you can have a free weekend, so just think about it like that. The next thing that I would say is study now, work hard, party later, play hard. So even though you might want to do something or go to something, make sure you do your work first. Try and prioritize that. It's really important because you can't really go back and redo them. It's not that easy, and you'd have to wait another year, and it's not worth it. So definitely work hard now, put all of your effort in now, and remember this time has been set aside for you to do this because school is now compulsory at this age, I believe. So just make the most of it because you don't want to waste your life on another year studying. Just make the most of it and do as much as you can now, and you can have as much fun as you want later. Believe me, the summers are great because you finish a bit earlier. So just put in the effort now and you'll be rewarded later. Next is figure out how you learn best. When I was in year 7, I think, at my school, they showed us this thing about these 3 different types of learners: a visual learner, a kinesthetic learner, which means that you like to move and do things more, and an audial learner. So that means things like listening to things or speaking and saying things aloud is better for you. I'll try and link like a test that you can do below if you don't know what you are. So just make sure you understand how well you work, and the same goes with like revision wise. How well do you work? Do you like flashcards? Do you like making your own revision guides? That's really important for you to figure out, so you can be the best that you want to be. And if you can figure this out now, if you do plan on going to university or doing any like higher education, you know how you work best, so you can keep doing that and keep improving, because there's no point in just, you know, spending time making like, I don't know, flashcards if you're not actually very visual at all and you're more audio or kinesthetic. There's no point. So make sure you know what kind of learner you are and how you work best, so you don't waste time, because time is really precious. Next is start making revision notes as soon as possible. It might sound ridiculous making revision notes in September, but even if you've got like a document up and you start drafting things, if you do the work now, you've got less to do later, and that means you've got more time to revise. So I'd say at the end of every week, try and jot a couple of things down from each of your subjects, so you can start building up a really good kind of revision like set of things. So I definitely recommend that you do that, just to make your life a little bit easier, because the worst thing is to have an exam looming and to start making revision notes. You should be revising from your notes. So try not to waste time and try and keep up with that. Next is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your teachers are there to help you, so don't be afraid, just go for it, and they should be able to help you. If not, try and find other teachers in the same department, or maybe the head of department. Just make sure you go to them if you're struggling, because there's no point of you on the exam day thinking of something that, you know, you don't really understand. You should have no like more questions to be asking when the exam is looming. You should just, you know, be ready to go and be confident. Make sure you just kind of quash all of your worries and concerns, and like with things like art, if you're worried about deadlines, make sure you communicate that with your teacher. Communication is really important, and maybe you can work one-to-one with the teacher to help you with that kind of thing. So definitely do that. The next piece of advice I would give you is to look after yourself. As I said, I got ill in year 12, which really impacted me in the next 2 years. So make sure you do look after yourself. Try not to go to bed at 3 a.m. every night if you're making notes, you know. Try and just start your work a little bit earlier when you come back from definitely try and eat a bit more healthier. I'm not saying, you know, eat greens every day, juices in the morning, and just go like the full thing, but do look after yourself, because that's important, and that also can impact how well you learn. So like when you're revising, there are certain foods that you can eat. When you're revising, there are some things that you can eat to help boost your ability to remember things. So I know like sage is really good, nuts are really good for you, they give you loads of energy, berries and blueberries specifically are really good for you. So make sure you do look after yourself and try and snack well, so you don't feel too sluggish and you'll actually have energy to, you know, keep up with A levels, because I'm not gonna lie, they are tough and you do need energy to keep going. So next is practice, because practice makes perfect. With subjects where you do have exams, just do the past papers and get your teachers to mark them. It might seem like you're bothering them, but at least that shows that you're keen and you really just want to do well, because once you understand how the exam works, you'll be able to ace it really. I don't know about, you know, tests in this country, you kind of need to learn how to answer the questions in the exams. That's really important, because just knowing the knowledge isn't really enough. You really need to know how to apply it to the questions. So if you practice that, you should be fine, and start practicing that as soon as you can. Once you've got enough knowledge on a subject that there's an past paper on or past question on, make sure you do try it and start getting feedback from your teachers. At first you will be getting low grades. That's really normal because of the jump from GCSE to A level. I believe a star at GCSE is a D at A level, so it does take some time, but if you just keep at it, I'm sure you will improve, and with your teachers' feedback you can definitely do better. The 10th and final tip I have for you is to go beyond the classroom and the syllabus, especially if you're looking to go to university. In your personal statement and when you write things like that and when you go to interviews, they are looking for people who do much more and show commitment and determination to their subject. So for example, I wanted to study architecture, and I will be. I went to workshops at the Royal Institute of British Architects. I went to many like exhibitions and talks and workshops. You know, do that for what you want to do at university. Do wider reading as well. I know there's an EPQ option, take that on if you can, and if your school will allow you to. Just, you know, being independent. Also with art subjects, if you like have your own personal sketchbook that you fill in, just doing that kind of thing just shows that you're doing a bit more than everyone else. So that will just kind of make you stand out from the crowd and will be really helpful in your university applications. So make sure you are aware of the wider curriculum, and reading is really good for that as well. So that is everything. I know this was a bit rushed, but I don't want to drag it on for too long because I know you guys have to get to school this week. There will definitely be a blog post that I will link below. I'll write that tonight and tomorrow, and this video should be up tomorrow for you guys. I will try and go into more detail than everything I've said, and I'll talk a bit about my experience with A-levels as well for anyone who wants to know. I hope that was, you know, helpful for you. Make sure you do tell me if it was. Comment down below, you know, like, subscribe as well, so I know that this is something that you guys want. And if this goes down well, I'm also planning to do a video on university application advice and university interview advice. I did do apply for architecture, so it's a bit more artsy, but it is academic in some ways. So I think I can kind of help people on both sides of the spectrum with that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!